Hello and welcome students in our civics class. Today I'll start with the first chapter of class 10 civics, that is power sharing. Right? Power sharing, as the name suggests here, it means sharing or distribution of power. Right? Now, power in general it means what? Power in general it means your authority, command or ability to govern or control, right? Now the question arises here that between whom power will be shared and why power sharing is required, isn't it? In simple terms, we can say, children, that power sharing means the distribution or sharing of power among the different organs of the government, among the different levels of the government, political parties and social groups. Example, power is shared among different organs of the government. What are the three organs of government? First is legislature, second is executive, and the third is judiciary or the court system. Okay. Now legislature, has the power to make law. That is, it is a lawmaking body. Executive has the power to execute the law, whereas judiciary or the court system has the power to interpret the law. So here we can say, children, that there are these three organs of the government checks each other. Okay, that means power is shared equally among these three organs of the government. In this way, these different organs have different functions. So up till here, children, is it clear to you what is power sharing and why power sharing is required? Now, children, you must remember that in a democracy, all the powers, does not rest with one organ of the government. Why? Because if power is not shared, equally, then what will happen? Government might become a dictator and conflict or violence will arise. Okay? And all the power here in a democracy, all power does not rest with one organ of the government, rather it must be shared or distributed. Clear? Now children, in this chapter, we are going to study why it is so important to share political powers among the different sections of the society. So, to understand this, we have to read the story which is given in this chapter. Okay. Now, the first story is from Belgium and the second story is from Sri Lanka. Okay. So, let's see. Belgium. Okay, Belgium is a small country in Europe and it has, it is smaller in area than the state of Haryana. Okay, and it shares its borders with France, Netherlands, Germany and Luxembourg. Okay, you can see here, children, this is very important. Okay, so here you can see that Belgium shares its borders with France, Germany, Netherlands and Luxembourg. Okay, so we have understood up till here that Belgium is a small country in Europe. Okay, smaller in area than the state of Haryana, and it has its border, means it shares its borders with France, Netherlands, Germany and Luxembourg. Okay, now it has a population of a little over 1 crore. Okay, that is about half the population of Haryana. Okay, Haryana, which is in our country. Okay, now the ethnic composition of the small country Belgium is very complex. Why? Why we are saying that the ethnic composition of Belgium is very complex? This is a very important question, children. Okay, you must go through it, that why. So let's see, of the country's total population, 59%, here you can see 59% lives in the Flemish region, whereas, and they speak which language? Dutch language. Okay, whereas another 40% they live in the Wallonia region of Belgium and they speak French. Clear? Remaining 1% which is left, okay, Remaining 1% of the Belgian, they speak German language. So this is why we are saying here that why this countries, composition, ethnic composition is very complex, because here of the country's population you can see 59% lives in the Flemish region and they speak which language? Yes, Dutch language. Whereas another 40% who are residing in the Wallonia region, they speak French language. Whereas remaining 1% of the whole population, they lives in the country and they speak which language? German language. Okay, so this is clear. Now coming to the next part. In the capital city of Brussels. Okay, what is Brussels? Brussels is the capital city of Belgium. Clear, children? Okay. Now Brussels. Here we will see that 80% of the population or the people, they speak here French. Okay, in Brussels 80% people speak French language, whereas 20% are Dutch speaking. Okay, so this is the reverse matter we can say. Okay, because we can say here it is a diverse country. Okay, Belgium is a diverse country, various languages speaking people live here. That is, of this country's total population, 59% lives in the Flemish region and they speak Dutch language. Okay, whereas 40% people, they live in the Wallonia region and they speak French language, and remaining 1% they speak German language. Whereas you can see the case is very different. Okay, in the city of Belgium, whereas in the capital city, that is Brussels. Okay, so Brussels and Belgium, can see the country and here the capital city. Okay, so in the capital city you can see, that is in Brussels, 80% they speak French, whereas 20% are Dutch speaking people. So the case is too reverse over here. Okay, totally reverse. So this is why we are saying that the ethnic composition of Belgium is very complex. Okay, this is the answer. Now why? You can see here the minority French speaking community. Okay, they are in minority French speaking people. Where French speaking people, you can see that is in the country they are in minority, whereas they are in majority in the capital city Brussels. Okay, so here you'll see that the minority French speaking community was relatively rich and powerful, and this was resented by the Dutch speaking community, who got the benefit of economic development and education much later on. Now this led to tension between the Dutch speaking community and the French speaking communities during 1950s and 1960s. Okay, now the tension between these two communities was more acute in Brussels. Okay, Brussels, which presented a special problem, that is the Dutch speaking people who constituted a majority in the country, whereas they were in minority in the capital city Brussels. Whereas the French speaking people, they were in majority in capital city Brussels, whereas they were in minority in Belgium, that is in the country, right? So the cases you can see totally reverse, the whole country, whereas in the capital city. Okay, so this is the case in Belgium. Okay, now let us compare this to the situation in another country, Sri Lanka. Coming to this part. Okay, so here just contrast what is happening over here. Let's see. Sri Lanka, it is an island nation. Okay, and here population is about 2 crores, same as in Haryana, and like other nations, Sri Lanka also has a diverse population. Okay, and here you'll see that here you will see that the major social groups who are residing over here are Sinhala speakers. Okay, Sinhala speaker. Sinhala is a language, children. Okay, 74% of the population, you can see over here, major social groups Sinhala speakers, 74%. Okay, 74% were Sinhala speakers, and the Tamil speakers, they were 18%. Okay, 18% Tamil speakers. So these were the two social groups, Tamil and Sinhalas. Okay, Tamil speakers and Sinhala speakers. 74% Sinhala speakers and Tamil speakers 18%. Clear? Okay. Among Tamils, there are two subgroups. Okay, now we should know also this thing that among the Tamils, there are two subgroups. Okay, that is Tamil natives. Okay, Tamil natives of the country are called Sri Lankan Tamils and they were 13%. Their composition 13%. Okay, Tamil natives of the country, they are called Sri Lankan Tamils. So there are two subgroups of Tamil. One is Sri Lankan Tamil, the other is Indian Tamils. Okay, now the Sri Lankan Tamils, their composition is 13%. Okay, now the rest whose forefathers came from India as plantation workers during colonial period, okay, they are called Indian Tamils. Okay, whose forefathers were coming from where? India, as plantation workers during colonial period, that means British period, and they are called Indian Tamils. Clear? So here we'll see this is the composition. Okay, and also you should know that most of this Sinhala speaking people, they are Buddhist by religion. Okay, they are Buddhist, while most of the Tamils are Hindus or Muslims, and there are about 7%. There are about 7% Christians who are both Tamil and Sinhala. Okay, here you can see there are about 7% Christians who are both Tamil and Sinhala. Okay, so this is the the case study which we have gone through here. Okay, the composition, the ethnic composition of these two countries, Belgium and Sri Lanka, and we have seen why this Belgium, here the ethnic composition is so complex, because the case is totally reversed over here. Okay, now in Sri Lanka also we have seen that there are two subgroups. One is your Sinhala speakers and the other were Tamil speakers, and Sinhala speakers 74%, they were in majority, whereas Tamil speakers who were in minority, they were 18%. Okay, composition, and there were two subgroups of Tamils. First is Sri Lankan Tamils and the second one is Indian Tamils. Okay, Sri Lankan Tamils 13%. Clear? Whereas you can see that there are about 7% Christians who are both Tamil and Sinhala. Okay, so this is clear to you, children. Okay, now you can see over here that we will see that what actually happened because of this majority and minority community, what consequences or what is the effect, what is the case study over here. Okay, and we will go through the story part in Sri Lanka and Belgium later on in my next video. So up till here, children, I hope this is clear to all of you that what is the ethnic composition of Belgium and Sri Lanka. So thank you, children, today up till here. Thank you all.